All right, it is straight up on the hour now, and so we shall begin. I noticed that I was having an issue this morning that the test that we run on the platform prior to starting the webinar was telling me that my video and my audio was not working, and so you all helped me with the test for that. Hopefully Stefan was able to join us and is hearing okay now. So I see lots of people introducing themselves. Let's see if I can catch up here for a minute. I will scroll back here. We have Jay and we have James from Coventry, UK. We have Stefan is on. Hopefully Stefan is hearing me now. We have Gloria is with us today. And we also have Jean Carey coming to us from Illinois and Sam from up the road in Tennessee. And let's see, who else do we have here? Scrolling through this, we have James from Pascagoula, Mississippi, Judith from Toronto. Let's see, Pete from London. And we have Terry from Cedarville, Ohio. Gary coming to us, and Carol from PA. All right, looks like we have a good crowd today. Always enjoy having a nice crowd with us on our Friday morning training webinar. For those of you who are new, welcome. We're glad to have you today. Hopefully the sound is coming through loud and clear and you're able to hear me just fine. This is Eric coming to you from a beautiful fall day in downtown Huntsville, Alabama. So I got lots of cool stuff to talk about today. And Terry, I'm trying to remember if it was your question about PDFs, but we're going to talk about that today. We are going to talk about PDFs today. So having said that, let's get started. Okay, good. Good. I'm glad you could join us, Stefan. Don't want you to miss. Always been an important part of our meeting here on Friday. So hopefully you'll figure out what's going on there and be able to take care of that for future meetings. So we'll look forward to that. All right, let's get started. I want to talk about our agenda today because there's some cool stuff to talk about. Last week I told you that I had something that was coming up and I was going to tell you what it was, but I couldn't do it last week. But I do get to do it today. So I will be sharing with you some cool stuff today. So just basics, just some things to cover here as we get ready. We're going to cover both youzign and youzign in this webinar. We always do. I usually begin with youzign and switch to youzign as we go. So if you are joining us from one or the other of those platforms, be patient and understand that we're going to have some discussion about both of those platforms. We're working harder to share with you ways to integrate the two of them, and we're watching the numbers in both of those grow rapidly, and so I'm really excited about that. But we're going to cover both youzign and youzign. All your support questions have to go to support. We can't answer support questions here. Glad to answer them, but we cannot answer them in the webinar. Your questions are very important, but make sure the questions relate to today's topic. And let's just keep it as close as we can to the topic that's at hand. That's the reason why I go through the agenda when we start. Okay. Now, having to do with those questions, make sure that if you have a question that you precede the question with question marks or with capital Q so that we can identify them and tag them, and we would appreciate that, okay? All right, the next thing is that replays are available in support. Sometimes there's a delay. Sometimes there's a lag in getting them up, and there's some reasons for that, which we won't get into. I try to get them up at least into the YouTube channel by the weekend, sometime on the weekend, and then Rose has to come in. Rose actually goes in and creates an outline of and that's one of the reasons why it takes some time. Sometimes Rose is not available, but she goes in and creates an outline. She does an amazing job of that. That way it makes it really easy for you to identify what it is that you're looking for, because all we do is we just tag the webinars based on the date. But Rose does a good job of giving a little outline of that webinar so that you can see some of the content that's in it. So that's helpful. But you have to be patient for that to happen. And and that will help you, I promise. And I've noticed some of you have posted that you've taken a weekend or a nasty weather day and sat down and went through the support page and looked at all of the webinars, and that's pretty cool. All right, I wish I could pronounce that name, and I will mutilate it, and I apologize, but I am so glad you're on here for the first time. Always welcome our first-time visitors. Thank you for joining us. Very good to have you. Gloria cheated. She got to spell it out. I couldn't pronounce that, but that doesn't mean we don't care about you and you're not important to us. So thank you for joining us. We're glad that you could be on today. I won't try to pronounce your name, so I don't want to be insulting. Be sure to use the resource page that Gloria has provided for us, Mr. Mendez. That's good. That's really good, Judith. Thank you for saying that. Be sure and use that resource page. Gloria has given you a tag to that already. And this has basics of a whole bunch of stuff that we get asked a lot. We get asked these questions a lot. So Gloria and I got together. We made a list of things that have links with it. And it is a clickable link, and those common questions, rather than addressing them over and over and over again here, we decided we'd put them, just create a resource sheet for you and make that available to you, making it kind of streamlining our webinar so that we can focus on some really cool stuff, okay? The next thing, no, this was Lisa, I guess, that had asked the question about a multi-page PDF for an ebook. We're going to talk about how to do that today, and we're going to do some really cool stuff with that. I'm going to show you some shortcuts. I'm going to show you some things that you can do. And Herman said, maybe this is a good topic for Eric's webinar, and I agree with that. It was a good topic. We just had some cool stuff I wanted to address last week, and so I had to push that off to this week. But we will talk about how to create PDF files and the best and most efficient way to do that so that we maximize your benefit, okay? And then I guess this was it. This was Terry's comment. I knew I had a Terry in here someplace. This was Terry's comment. This is an amazing video that Terry posted in the youzign community, showing how she used youzign and youzign together to create a video, and she posted it in YouTube. And I thought this was just amazing. Check that out. She used the resources that she had. And I can't say this enough. The reason why we do these webinars is to help you to take advantage of the resources that you have and use those resources to develop your skills. When you look at this, you're going to be amazed at the quality of this video. So go into the youzign community and find that video and play that video because it was really, really good. And notice that she did that with youzign and youzign, and she's got it posted in YouTube. So I think it was really, really good. I appreciate the effort that she put into that, and I thought it was pretty cool. Okay, so now I'm going to challenge you with something. I had a client who is a real estate client who needed to send interior pictures to to someone who would ask her a question on YouTube, or on, I'm sorry, in Facebook. And so I created this for her very quickly. We took 4 images of the interior of the house, and we were able to get this to her almost instantaneously. It was amazing how fast we were able to do this. And this is a nice way to present that. And I think real estate people, landscapers, those kinds of folks could really benefit from the stuff that we can share with them. However, I did notice something as we did this, and I'm going to I'll give you a little bit of I'll give you a little bit of the a little instruction here that I think will help you. These are very, very large images. They're 3,000 by 4,000 pixels, somewhere in that range. They load because they're so big. They load slowly, so it makes the images aren't loading as quickly. So when you create a GIF sign like this, make sure that you make your images smaller so that they don't take as long to load. That did make a little bit of difference in the quality of the images here. So remember that. just keep that in mind as you create that. It had been better. This is like, I think the size for your youzign platform is 640 by 360, and if you'll remember to use images that are in that size range, they load more quickly and they look a little bit better when you do that. So just keep that in mind. Just want to challenge you, start making a list, start thinking about people that can benefit from. Last week we showed how to use youzign to create a GIF on an infographic, and how beneficial that was, and being able to walk people through that. So think about places where you can use that, and I'm always going to be giving you places that you can take this to the marketplace. Last week we took a look at landscapers. The ideal size for the images, I believe, is 640 by 360. 640 by 360 is ideal. Now, they will load faster if you have them that size. They're trying to get the image quality perfected when they're larger than that. Okay. Now, where I got that from, I'll show you where I got that when we get finished with the agenda. Okay. Remind me to do that, Gloria. I'll show you where you can get that information at. Okay. All right. The next thing is, Drew's asking about the 72 DPI. That has to do with what you're saving those as. I just resize the images is all I'm going to do. Now, got some news to share with you. Does this platform look a little bit different than your typical youzign platform does? Because we're about to release youzign on Adobe Air, which will be a desktop version. It is an amazing desktop version. It will work very, very fast. But the biggest and most exciting thing is that you'll be able to load PSD files and SVG files. Now tell me if you think that's good news. And I'm even going to demo it for you a little bit today. This is even too early to call it. Yes, those are vector images. This is just still too early to even call it beta, but I'll demonstrate just a little bit of the ability here in just a minute, okay? Carol, the answer to what is SVG, that's the vector images that you see over on the side, and I'll show you in just a minute. We don't have an ETA yet, but this is maybe the most exciting news I've heard in a long, long time. Are people having issues with the sound? I just want to know if people are having issues with the sound. Yeah, I just think this is really cool stuff, and wait, and I'll demonstrate a little bit of it to you here in just a minute, and I'll show you some features that you're absolutely going to love. And the reason why I know you're going to love them is because I do, obviously. You know, pretty cool stuff. I promise you, it's pretty cool stuff. So I have a question for you as we get ready to move into the next part of the agenda. Help me with this question, okay? My question is, do you create PDF products? Do you create PDF products? So tell me in the chat box, a 1 or a yes, if you create PDF products. It looks like everybody so far is saying yes. We have a couple who's saying nah, sometimes I do. Yes. Looks like we have lots of people who are creating PDF products. So we're going to talk about creating PDF products today. And sometimes it's pages, sometimes it's books, sometimes it's just PDF style products. All right. So it looks like that's going to be helpful information to everybody who's here. And so this is the thing I want to share with you first. The best place to create a PDF document is inside of something that creates PDFs automatically. Now, I realize that we can create a PDF file for an image that we save in youzign. But the best place to create a PDF is in something that is designed to create PDF multiple pages, something like Keynote. And when I go to save or export my presentation in Keynote, and I refer to Keynote, and for this demonstration for today, we're going to refer to Keynote as a word processor. It's going to fall in that word because it's designed to handle text. Okay. I know I'm stretching the definition of a word processor a little bit, but it's because it's designed to handle text. So inside of Keynote, you can save this as a PDF, and you can determine how you want that PDF to be created. Okay, I frequently use Google Slides to create my PDF files. And that's one way to do it. You can do it in Keynote for those Mac users, and for everyone else, including the PC users, you can use Google Slides. Now, here's what I do in Google Slides. I create a background. If you'll notice the image that I'm using right here that says PDF enhancements at the top, this background, actually, I loaded that background, okay? And yeah, you can use Google Slides. So this is my background that I had a particular style that I use. We use this in all of these, but I recreate the cover. So this is the cover. The thing I like about Keynotes is it allows you to be able to create the cover here, and it also allows you to be able to add that background here. Okay, inside of Google Slides, you can put an image for background, and I'll show you what that looks like when we do this. I oftentimes want to be able to see this. I want my PDF file to look like it came from a notebook or something like that. And so here's a way that you can do that. I've added the background to the to Google Slides, and that's going to make that appear in that manner. Okay, is that clear to everybody? Kind of the process of that. I'll show you that when I'll demo that for you in just a little bit. But that is maybe the best place to create your PDF files is in that. In a document creator that is designed to handle massive amounts of text. youzign is designed to handle images, and so there's a little bit of a difference there. So the question comes up, well, why would we save anything as a PDF file from a youzign? Why would we save any images that way? Because sometimes printers require PDF files. Sometimes you want to be able to deliver something to a client that they can't modify, and the best way to do that is in that style as well. Okay, so that's why we have the PDF, not to create massive documents with youzign, but use those types of tools to create the massive documents. Now, there are some third-party, Keynote's a third-party, by the way, but there are some other things that are designed specifically to handle PDF files. And this is an example of one of them that I use. It's called Designer, and it creates a cover generator preview. But I put this up here just so you can see this is a youzign cover. All right, they create a cover. I don't like the cover that it makes. So what I do is I make that cover completely transparent, and then I drop where the cover goes. I drop the youzign image that I created in there. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? So here's my advice to you today on PDF files. Build your text in some type of a word processor. All right. Even a PDF creator like this one, not the best place to create the PDF file. Create it in a word processor of some type. And Gloria has even given us a Open Office being a free word processor. Google Docs is a free word processor. And then you have with that Google Slides, and Google Slides is the one that I use frequently for my webinar presentations, but this one I like to use this particular Keynote. So build your text in a word processor, create your covers in youzign, then create the background layout in youzign, like I did right here. This is a background layout. This right here is a background layout. And so you create your covers, create your background, but create your text Susan, that's a personal thing. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Like I said, I use a PDF converter right here. I think it works very, very well. I've got some, it depends on what my final result's going to be. And when my final result is going to be something that's print quality, I use something that's print quality. When my final result, something that I'm going to give as a as a document that's going to be read on the web, doesn't make any difference. I'll use the other one. Okay, so build your text in a word processor, create your covers in youzign, create the background layout in youzign, and you're good to go. All right. So you have under templateology today, the only thing I'm going to mention in templateology is that we have given you a number of templates here as A5 flyers, A6 flyers. Those can be saved as PDFs. They can be sent to a printer. They work very well. You can do the same thing here. You can create a letter size, 8.5 by 11, and you're good to go. Okay, so you've got some templates already designed that way. And they will work very, very well for you. Okay? All right. Are there any questions about creating a PDF file? I'm gonna do a couple of examples here in just a minute. You have a template that could be used to create a note card. If you'll notice right here, we have a postcard size. If that's the size note card that you're talking about, all right? I just didn't want to run a third arrow up there, Charlotte. A4 obviously is the size as well. That could be used. You can do a multitude of things. I just want you to see, most important thing is that you understand that you got multiple ways to accomplish the same thing. Very important that you understand that. Use those multiple ways to accomplish the same thing, because then you can use it then you have flexibility. All right? Then you have some flexibility that you can do. So let's have a little bit of fun here. All right? This I created, and I'll show you in just a minute. This I created in the new Adobe Air version of youzign. Saved the images. And I believe there's 16 images in this file. Saved the images, imported them into youzign, and then I was able to have a little bit of fun with that. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to get to how that new product works, okay? So, have a question. How many of you have folders full of PSD or SVG images on your computer? I got to looking the other day and I went, man, I'll be glad when we can do PSD. And shortly after that, we got the announcement that we're going to work on this. So yeah, looks like yes, Roger says millions. I think that's probably pretty close to what I have as well. Millions of those. All right, let's get on to the canvas. Let's talk about a few things here. Mostly today, instead of tips and tricks, I'm going to show you a couple of things having to do with PDF files, but mostly we're going to take a look at the new version of youzign when it becomes available. If you have questions, this is going to be your opportunity to ask questions, okay? So remember, you have to keep them connected. You have to keep them connected. Okay, here's a question from Stephen. You know, the question is, have you ever imported Excel charts into an image for a flyer or a document? I got a PDF print driver to work, but it's pretty limited. You know, the thing that I do, and I know this is incredibly cheesy, okay, but I take a very pragmatic approach to that, and that is I screenshot the Excel chart and then I remove whatever background I want to remove with my background removal tool, and I'm off and flying. And I can do that almost as fast, if not faster, than I can diddle around with some type of an extension or a special driver or something like that. Just very easy for me to. Just do a screenshot and take that screenshot and mock up that screenshot the way that I want to. Again, speed is everything for me, making sure that we get things done in a very timely fashion. So, all right, let me get my screen switched around here, and I will be right back. Let me stop sharing that screen. Well, all right, it looks like I'm having an issue here switching, so everybody stick with me. Don't go away. I'm trying to get this to stop sharing my screen. Every time I do that, all right. That's good. All right. I apologize for that. I'm going to try sharing my entire screen. That's not always real successful for me. All right, let me know, can you see my screen okay this time around? I'll pop out the chat session here. Sam, the estimated time of release of that is December, sometime in December. Keep in mind, we are still in the process of testing, and there's just a ton of stuff that goes into making that happen. So please keep that in mind when you look at expectations. Okay, so sometime in December was what I had heard this morning from Bertrand. Okay, so we're hoping that will be the reality for us. Pretty confident that it will. All right. So sometime in December, got a couple of cool things that we're going to announce over the next few weeks, and that's one of them, with an expectation of December. All right, looks like everything's working fine now. So let's get back here. I want to show you a couple of cool little things right here. All right, you're going to love this. I promise you're going to love this, because I just think this is amazing. This is from my desktop. All right, this is a little folder that I have saved on my desktop, and this is just an image that's saved here. But watch what happens when I do this. All right, I just loaded my youzign image. How cool is that? So from the image, I was able to load the program. From the image, I was able to load the program. Does that excite anybody besides me? Now, there's going to be some features that'll be added to this, but I looked at that and I went, wow, how amazing is that? From the image, I was able to load the program. Now, I just think that's awesome, okay? 640, 360, as we had talked about earlier, and there it is. Now, where I got that number from, I'll load here so you can see this. Where I got that from was from my youzign dashboard. It's right here, 640 by 360, okay? Now, don't take this the wrong way. Yes, I clicked on the image and the program opened. I just think that's amazing. And I'm tickled to death about that because that's going to be let me explain to you why that's so cool, Judith, because I think it's cool. Then youzign, exactly as Gene's saying, youzign becomes the default reader for that image. But it's loading the whole thing up, template, all the stuff gets loaded at the same time. Okay? And I don't have to load the program and then find the image. It loads in one shot. And that can be extremely beneficial to you, okay? Makes it a very easy way to launch the program. Yes, I'd already saved the image. From my save button right here, I had saved the image. So having saved the image, then I was able to just click on the image and have it pop back up, okay? So this saves everything. It saves everything. Now, there's some features that you're not going to have as of right now, but we will. And the what's being worked on right now is the API to pull all of the pull the other stuff in that's going to have to be pulled in. We have the ability. We still have these, and these load lightning fast. Okay, I'm just amazed at how well our integrations work with the other platforms. And so they are just like lightning fast now. Also, did you notice how quickly that image popped up from the time I clicked on it till the time that it popped up? Much faster than loading the program and then trying to find the image. I love the efficiency of this. This is going to be, it's going to be amazing. It's in the process of being developed, but it's going to be amazing. Okay. I think you'll be very, very excited about how cool this is going to work. So did it take you online or is that on my computer? This is on my computer. Okay. It's a desktop app that operates with Adobe Air. So has much the same look of a platform as youzign does, and operates in on the same with the same engine. Okay. I think you're going to love this. I really do. All right. So let me this is what I did with the image before and what I did here. I'll just explain this for those of you who've not seen me do this. What I did was I went backwards, and I would save an image, and then I would go backwards, and I would save an image, and I would delete that, so that when I load it up into youzign, it looks like it's printing it out. Okay, and that's how I did that. That's why I did it in that fashion. Okay. All right, let me get rid of all of this. And I will do the next thing. And the next thing is, because you all said you have them, you notice I have a file here with an SVG extension. Can you all see that? Can you see the SVG extension on the file? Okay, so I'm going to take this SVG extension. I'm going to grab this file, and I'll pull it over here, and we'll see if this is going to work. That is a huge file. All right, so it loaded the file, but it's too big for me to be able to see here. So let's find another one that will work. All right, right here. How do you like that for loading? I saved the file as, that's a good question, Charlotte. I saved the file. I saved the files in this case as a ping file. I could save them as a ping or a JPEG. It doesn't really make any difference. So now I have this. I have my SVG file right here. Okay. Now, how many of you think that's pretty cool that you can import an SVG file? Yes, Carol, I think you're exactly right. Now, there's a couple little things that we don't have worked out yet, and will that are, they're being developed right now. When you go over here, you have to find where they're at. I took care of that. I can make some slight modifications to my SVG file. Did you see here? So I probably should use a lighter color so it'd be easier for you to see. But you can make some modifications there like that. Okay? All right, don't worry about how everything works yet, because we're not here to tell you how everything works. We're simply here to show you what's coming. All right, this ability to be able to do this, to be able to import an SVG file, is something that people have asked for forever, and it wasn't as easy as it sounded. And so this is going to be awesome. Okay, this will just be very awesome. Instead of having to go over here and find this arrow that you have and figure out some way to make that work in the image that you're looking for, you can actually get SVG images and have them work, and they'll work fine. You can pull them in. You can make some limited modifications to the colors. Now, if you're bringing a colored SVG file in, that's a little bit more complicated. All right. Yes, and that gives you the ability to be able to work without a connection as well. This is going to be a new app. This is a whole new platform. All right. Jay's asking, can we import a JPEG and then save it as an SVG to gain the SVG benefits? As of right now, no. No, that's not possible, Jay. However, let me do one more thing for you that you might find interesting. Let me find another file here. How about doing this? How's that for loading speed? Grab an image and drag and drop it. So I told you we don't have the details yet. We're just here to show you how this thing operates, okay? Because there's always this question about, sometimes it goes too slow, or sometimes it does this, or I wish I could do that. Well, many of those features are being built in here, okay? Yes, that speed is just amazing, Jay. It really is. And the fact that I can find an image and go up here to an image file, and I'll show you this. Instead of having to upload and do all of that, I can grab an image file here. I know I got an image file. Where'd I go? I can grab an image file and I load it that fast. I mean, that is a lightning fast load speed. Before we have to upload, we got to do this, we have to do that. This is a drag and drop application. All right, this is incredibly fast, and it's drag and drop. It's a desktop based application, so that it allows you to be able to do some amazing things that we couldn't do with the cloud-based app without having to load it up to the platform. Okay. I agree, Jay. Well, I'm grinning to ear too. Lisa, sometime in December. We're not sure when, but this morning my conversation was that it will be sometime. It's expected sometime in December. All right. So this is something to be thinking about as you think about, hey, I wish it could do this. I wish it could do that. Understand that the templates are one of the things that we're working on how to make that integration. Okay, that's just something that you have to understand. That if I click on templates over here, I'll explain this. If I click on templates right here, it actually takes me to the cloud app. Now, what they're going to do with that yet, I don't know, because those are just things that are way beyond where Eric's brain rests. Okay. I got a question last week about looking for an SVG image for something having to do with, I believe it was elf shoes. I think that's elf shoes was what the question was about. Well, before we've only ever had the options that were right here, you know, and honestly, our folks have done a great job of being able to stay on top of seasonal issues and keep those loaded. Now, because I've used this multiple times, that's one of the things in this very, very early version has a little struggle with. But I can stop it like that. It appears on my application. Load this up, and you'll see how fast this goes. Okay. There we go. Now, our guys have done a great job of keeping these tools up to date. I'm willing to be a beta tester. You know, I will speak out of school. One of the ways that our platforms get better, and one of the ways that we develop them, is we have people who are give us great feedback, and we get great feedback from our folks. We really do. And because of that great feedback that we get, it enables us to be able to do some pretty cool stuff. Yes, Phyllis, yes. Go to the document that Gloria gave you at the beginning, and she'll give it to you again before she goes today. And where you'll find the replays at are there. Okay. But I'm just amazed at the speed. The other thing that you need to be aware of, let me get rid of this one. The other thing you need to be aware of, let's see if I can find a good image for that. Another thing you need to be aware of on this platform is that we can use, we can still use the background removal tool, and it's loaded as part of the program. So it's right here. It's not a cloud-based program, and it is right there, and it is available, and it is accessible, and it is usable. And that's going to be amazing. Okay. Now keep in mind, there's still some bugs. We still have some issues. There's still some things going on with this. It's loaded incredibly fast for me before. I've had computer issues all day. But do you see how cool that is? I mean, honestly, that's the reason why we're still waiting to get some of the kinks worked out of this so we can actually start test driving this. But I wanted you to see it today because I thought it was just amazing, and I got permission to let you see it, so I thought it was pretty cool. All right, give me your thoughts. I'm really curious. What are you thinking so far? How do you like this? I mean, let me grab it while you're giving me your thoughts and your ideas here. Let me grab a PSD file. And I'll drop a PSD file in here just for fun. PSD files right now are kind of limited in size, and they're limited in the number of layers that it will allow. But this is a PSD file, and there it is. All right. So when it comes in, that file comes in like this, it's grouped. Do you see that? I didn't say anything about purchasing anything, Christine. No, this is just right now, all we're doing is we're demonstrating how this thing works, okay? That's my sole purpose today, is to demonstrate how this is going to work. Oh, wrong way. And so that you can see how it's going to work. I'm not talking about purchasing anything. I don't have the details, all right? So this comes, it's grouped together. Do you see how it's grouped here? And this comes just like any other group that we have. So I can ungroup it. Now when I ungroup it, I've got some limitations. It can only take 10 layers at a time. And so there'll be some things that will be beyond that 10 layer level. Like in this case, it's grabbing all of these layers and putting them together. So some of those things are going to have to be worked on. But you do have the ability to be able to take in PSD files. And I've played with several. It kind of depends. And I think it will be better. I think it will be much better in the very, very near future as to what we can do with this. And as always, there's always an evolution goes on with and we can't change colors right now. There's always an evolution that goes on with this kind of stuff. And so just keep that in mind as you think about, well, it'd be great if it did this. Well, I know, but let's see what it is going to do. Okay. And it will get better, I promise you. You've seen this with everything that we've done. The product just continues to grow and it gets better, and we put a lot of focus on it. Okay. I just love the fact that we can take those PSD files that we have and the SVG files and be able to bring those in and use those. Okay. So there's some cool stuff we'll be able to do. You'll see those. I'll talk about it more each week and get you kind of up to speed on the progress of this. Okay, Bob, at this point, I'm going to tell you not to worry about the cost of the product. Okay. We have always done a great job with our customers and our clients, made sure that they've got things at a reasonable cost, and reward them greatly for writing the product out with us. And that's always been youzign's philosophy. Yeah, I'll be, as I did with youzign, and as I did with youzign, I will be taking this, figuring out the best ways and most efficient ways to use it. I'll be getting your input as we go. I pay very careful attention to the stuff that you all do and that you post. Gloria is going to have to leave, so make sure that you I'll just say this as she departs. Make sure that if you have support issues that you address those with Gloria. Okay, in support, that you fill out a support ticket and do that. Okay. Yes, Terry, exactly. Take what we have and sell something. And that's the reason why I've been giving these little ideas of things that we could do. The reason why I took the GIF sign and I showed you how to make the landscaper slides last week and how to do that with the house demo today. Just little stuff like that will be drastically helpful to you in being able to sell services to other people. So as we bring this webinar to a close, are there any questions, anything that I need to address before we go? But I wanted to make sure that you had a chance to see how cool this platform operates. And then we've got a couple of other announcements of products that are coming up, and I'm saving those for next week, okay? Just some cool stuff in the works. All right, let me look over here, see if I've missed any questions real quickly. If not, hit me up with any question that you might have. We've had some questions as we've gone today. So switch back to that platform. All right, anything else? People trying to get me off of here. Must be when Gloria leaves, everybody's ready for me to quit talking. Is that how it is? Is that how it is, Tom? No questions. Wow, this is pretty interesting. Usually we have all kinds of questions. I could easily go for another hour, Tom, I promise you. That's kind of my plan, is that each week we're going to talk about something a little bit new, a little bit of something. Does it have a name yet? Yes, it's called the Adobe Air version of youzign. Is exactly what it will be, because it's just youzign on a desktop version that works, and we used that desktop version for GIFsign. And it was amazing how well that functioned to do what we wanted it to do. And so as we've kind of worked through the kinks of that with GIFsign, there's been some amazing development that has gone on building youzign on the same type of a platform. And just as I say that, I'm thinking, well, Eric, you're not a programmer. I'm not sure that you should say it's building on that, but it is the same platform. I do understand that part. Okay. All right. Anything else? Anything else? Any other questions that you might have today? I did want to address that PDF issue. I want to make sure that you all understood the best way to do that is to create a PDF in a PDF creator, or something that handles text very well. So let me I'll show you just an example of something here. See if you can see that while we bring this to a close. I use this little program called Ninja Units, and it's to convert inches to pixels based upon the number of DPI that you have. And so if I'm going to use 300 DPI and my image is going to be 11 inches, I know that my pixels are going to be 3,300, okay? So that's kind of a cool little tool that I used that to figure out what I needed for this, all right? I wanted you to see that's how you arrive at what's going to be my size if I'm going to lay this out like this. Of course, I built this in youzign. Just simply took a, this was kind of fun to build. I took one of the background images from over here, a texture image. And it's this image right here, this gray image, and then I put a filter on it, and I reduced the opacity of that filter. And you'll see what filter that was here. And then I just reduced the opacity of the filter because I want my text to stand out on it. That's a really good idea, Stephen, and thank you for mentioning that. We don't have a lot of real estate templates, and I do work with that niche a lot. I have a lot of clients in the real estate business, so that would be something that would be a good idea. Thank you for mentioning that, Stephen. I appreciate that. So then, in order to make this, I just simply went over here, took my colors in here, found something that looked pretty cool, and thought it was that one right there. Grabbed this over here, did the same thing, and just made my dots. And my dots are just a circle that I found. And then this is a logo that we designed back when we were doing membership templates. And so I just created that, dropped that at the bottom. And now I have actually taken my template, or I've taken my background and I've personalized it. I've branded it, Yeah, that's good, Gene. Thank you for posting that there. Once they're up in YouTube, you can see them. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel and you will get notification of that as well. So thank you, Gene. I don't ever have that link because I have to go back in the other way to get it. But yeah, thank you for putting that up for me. So that's what I did. That's what I did here. Now, when we were talking about covers a while ago, let me just show you quickly. I took a bunch of covers, created, these are books that I write frequently. And so this is going to be a list of them. And I put this up last night, just grabbing those images from my PDF converter right here. And you can see what I was talking about earlier, because this is what they want to build, something that looks like this. And this, as opposed to this, there's a big difference in how they look. And so I just grab my, I just create a cover in youzign, and then do my 3D image of my cover from here. Okay. Any questions about that? Again, you create your cover art. You create your cover image here so that you've got multiple, and make sure that you save it in multiple ways so that you've got a 3D cover, or you can do a magazine cover that's laying down, or you can do a 3-ring binder. They're just those types of ways that you can save that, and then you save it and you can use it like this, and you can put it on the cover of your document as well. So let me open one of these up and you'll see what I'm talking about. And there it is. So that's the way it now appears on my PDF creator. Okay. But that's why you build it in a word processor, then you put it over here. Stephen, I'm not sure I understand your question about the retro look. I'm just about as retro as they come. So that's probably has a lot to do with that. Okay. I may be about as retro as you get. Oh, the binder holes in the documents. Yes. I think I like that kind of old school design. It's something that I've done for a while, is to kind of create that old school design and create a look that mimics that retro look. I feel like I'm still in school when I do that. I need a big Chief tablet. All right, anything else before we close out today? Great conversation, great topic. It was fun to talk about the new youzign. Always fun to talk about that. I'm so excited about that product. I can't hardly contain myself. Can't wait for us to get as we go down the road, okay? Okay, Tom, we're going to save that one. All right. I appreciate you all coming on and joining us today. I hope this has been helpful to you. As always, enjoy having your presence. You've dedicated an hour to us, and hopefully we've made that hour worth your time and your effort, and we appreciate you so much. I think that you're going to be amazed at the things that you're going to see coming from the youzign folks in the next few weeks, and maybe even the next few months. Some pretty cool stuff on the agenda, and I'll be rolling that out to you over the next few Fridays as we meet together right here, same time, same place. Have a great and wonderful weekend. Take good care of yourself. Enjoy your time, and we'll see you right back here next week. Okay?